Hello everybody, and you can see it is now 11:45 a.m. and it is not 2 in the morning. I feel much better about this now. I have gone back in and re-added these hidden blades and put a color on them so that they are a bit more of a metallic looking thing. Work on both sides too. I took out the eyes and I want to show you how to texture them, I guess. I didn't think that the mouth there was too bad. It actually, switch to the base here. It actually can help with what we might want it to do. I'm getting a calendar event for my aunt's birthday. Yay! Just kind of moving the mouth where it is because I noticed that some of it was sticking out in weird places. So what we can do with this mouth is actually use these shape keys to make it look like he's talking or smiling or whatnot. So it could end up being useful this way. And so you've already heard my discontent with knowing how to texture, and so I'm thinking about actually modeling in this belt. And then this belt here, I definitely want to model in this belt right here, because I think that will definitely stand out and be something really cool. I was going to say might add in these little things on the side, but we don't have the geometry right here to do so, and we can't add that in because of the triangle up there. Because of the triangle, I can try and do an edge loop, but it doesn't know how to go all the way around because it doesn't know which way to go when it's a 5-sided vertex. So if you want to do some loop cuts, or not loop cuts, but this knife tool thing, that could be one way to do it, but I don't think that part of it matters so much. Put my cursor right here, and then here in the front. I'm going to go ahead and try and make this little, it kind of looks like the Assassin's Creed symbol, I really don't know. Add in a plane, RX90, turn on screencast keys, scale this down. Speed 2, it's down to match that little belt part there. I'm going to add a loop in the middle of this. And it catches, there it goes. And then extrude that out to about there. And pull this one down here, and this one up here, like that. And I'm going to go ahead and give it the metal material that I did, which is just a darker gray that's kind of shiny right now. That's all we need. And you can give it thickness if you want by extruding it back, but I'm just fine with this. Shift D, enter, period, SX, -1, comma. And there's that. Now we can put the belt on by grabbing these vertices. And one thing that I can do is go down here. There's this little button that looks like a magnet. I'm going to turn that on for just a second. I'm going to extrude this out. And it doesn't seem to want me to extrude it or move it at all. Let's see, what am I doing on here? Okay, so I turned on the magnet and then on the button next to it, I'm switching this to face. And then pulling this out to about here. And so basically what this does is it makes it so that whatever you're doing is going to stick right to the face that it's touching. Like that. And then I'm going to go back and grab them, since they are inside of it. This thing really doesn't like me clicking on stuff. And then I'm going to turn that back off and just pull it out a little bit. Maybe a little forward. There we go. Let me click it. I'll bring that back for more, maybe scale it down or so. Alrighty. I'm going to hit Control L to select all of that. C and the middle mouse button to deselect this part. And give it the brown material. Select this one over here and delete it. And just copy this one again. Shift D, enter period SX -1, enter. And we now have that little belt. Pretty sweet. Maybe I can take the face selector on these four and extrude that out just a little bit. Put the metal material on it. There we go. That looks nice. When you create new stuff like this, it'll have the flat geometry back on it. So I'm going to take these and then deselect these. Nope. Nope. Get rid of these metal ones. And then over here I'm going to hit smooth. Get that smooth shading, and left this metal part without smooth shading. Alrighty. And then we could add the belt up here. As I'm telling you that that's going to be a difficult thing to add in with texturing. I highly recommend that you find a different tutorial for texturing, I guess. I'm sorry, but I'm really not good at it. In the character that I'm working on for the little series that I'm wanting to make, I really need to learn how to do that sort of texturing on clothes. But I'm having the exact same problem as I am right now, and being unsure of how to do that correctly or efficiently. It seems like it would be easy if I could just draw onto it, but the problem with that is when you unwrap the material that you are working on, it gets really confused at what goes where, and I don't know. It just comes out so confusing if you ask me. Pull these back, not back, back. Maybe I'll bring this down to about this belt down here. I'm just kind of leave that there. There we go. The face, though, I will be attempting to texture. So what I'm going to do, actually I'm going to do one more thing. I'm selecting this edge here, and I'm going to bring it out slightly to help show that change right there. I recommend that you do that too. I'm going to hit Control L, and do I need to recalculate something here? Maybe not. I think that's just my low poly. I'll go ahead and hit recalculate just to be safe. Nothing really happened. Flipping direction is definitely the wrong idea. Okay. So I'm going to go in here and hide the hood. And his hair looks funny. Technically we don't will do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my edge selector, and I'm going to see how far does this go. So on the side there, I select that loop of vertices, select it all the way around. Kind of messed that up, I didn't hold down shift. And then grab the chin here, and I'm going to hit Shift E, nope, that. Control E, yes, Control E. And then hit Mark Seam. And so now, if I select all of these faces throughout here, and hit, not done yet, and then I press W. Is it U? Yes, it is the letter U. And then I'm going to hit Unwrap. And I'm going to open up a new little window here and not put my 3D cursor up there. Well, I did that, but it's not what I wanted to do. And I'm going to click on this down here again, go to my UV image editor. Since I rendered image is trying to remember that, I'm just going to hit X down here by the rendered result. And here we have the face. Okay. So all these right here is that, but if you try to unwrap like a shirt or something, even if you put the seams in the same place that you would a real shirt, it gives you the weirdest shapes over here that make it so confusing for you to know what shape is actually what. And so what I might do, there is a way to save this, but I'm just going to go ahead and take a screenshot. And let's see here. Go into Paint, just to crop it down real quick. And so here is where you have to decide on what program to use, because I have Photoshop and I understand that a lot of people don't. What we need for this section is transparency, and not all programs can do that. I know Paint sure can't. If you don't have Photoshop, I recommend that you get the free program called Gimp, G-I-M-P, because that'll be your closest thing to Photoshop, and it is absolutely free and does a lot of things that Photoshop does. Pretty much it does all the stuff that Photoshop does that people actually use, if I remember right. Because I mean, Photoshop can do a lot, but there is also a lot that you don't need very often that Photoshop has. So anyway, if you do have Photoshop, I opened up the image. I'm going to make a new layer, and now I can paint right on top of this. What might be helpful for me is to, I want to make it transparent so I can just add eyes right here and whatnot, and hopefully that will keep the same color. Yeah, I think I can do that. So I'm going to go back to Photoshop, and in that original image he had a little beard thing down here that I thought looked pretty funny. Seems to already have a brown color in play. I might have to change his hair to brown later then. Maybe I can just change it to something like that. Take my brush. For some reason I have it on a weird hairy thing. I remember what I was using that for. And I'm going to go down here and take a look at this guy again. So I'm going to try and add these in right here. So that goes all the way along those bottom faces. Just hit Control Z and change my opacity to 100. And just kind of doop, 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 doop. And the texture is only going to pick up what is inside the orange area, and because I'm making this on a new layer, it won't pick up the orange area itself. I mean, I can make a little happy face thingy out here and it won't see it. But I don't want to do that, because I'm so unsure about this that even though I'm sure about something, I don't want to do it anyway. The next thing would be to make some eyes. Now if I go back here, you can see I was taking a look at some. Personally, I kind of like eyes like this up here, or even two on this little picture. Ones like these aren't too bad either. This is actually transparent, so I could actually copy this and stick it onto this if I wanted. But I can go ahead and try and make some, because I know his eyes in this were styled kind of I don't know how to describe that shape, but I'll try and do my best to copy that. To grab a black brush now and go to Blender. His eye starts about in the middle of this one and end at about the top right. So middle of this one to the top right of the adjacent one. Up. My brush is smaller, so his eye was about not an eraser. I'm going to do it with my polygon tool. About something like this. It has a sharp corner, so it's not quite a curve. Take my brush, make it large, fill that all in. Take my polygon selector again, hit Control D to make that go away. Fold this down, like this. Try and line this up a bit, or I can just not care about it, add a new layer, put it under layer 2, and grab a white brush. Fill that in. And then I'm going to take, see, does that look like a good color for his eyes? What color was his eye? Yeah, I see like a brownish. I think I know what to do. I'm going to save that color, but change to this one and do like a dark brown, and then just with the scale up like that, I'm going to put a big dot. Then switch to this one. Control D. Something about like that. Looks pretty cool. Take a black one and then give them that little pupil in the middle. And if you want, you can take a white brush and add a little thingy about like this. And so then I'm going to do a, let's see, duplicate layer. There's usually, I know what I did. Take this, free transform. Actually, I'll take it directly from the middle vertices here, all the way to that one there, and then free transform. Pull this one out to there, make it an exact copy. Apply it, take layer 2, duplicate it as well. Do the same thing. There we go. And so now we have just about all that we need. I'm going to take away the background one, and this is all we have here. And so I'm going to Save for web. Save it as a PNG. It's kind of important that it is a PNG because PNGs hold transparency. So we go to my Blender folder, which is there. It is randoms, Ezio face texture, and save it. Go back into Blender. Now I'm going to hit image, open image, go to my Blender folder, my randoms, Ezio face texture, and it will bring it up in here, just as I painted it on there. And then under my materials, I'm going to, let's see, the face is still selected. I'm going to make a new material. Let's see, face, and hit select. Now, or not select, assign. Now his face is going to become a little bit more white, and we need to still be that skin color. So I'm going to go up to the skin color, and with my mouse over the color here, I'm going to hit Control C, scroll down to the face texture, and put my mouse over it, and Control V. Take down the shading. Okay, now I'm going to go to this one over here, which is your Textures tab, next to Materials. Hit New. Change the type from clouds to image or movie. Go down here, open an image, Blender, random, Ezio face texture, and then scroll down a little bit more. Under mapping, you want to change your coordinate to UV. And see, if I go down and click on this alpha button under the color, that should do everything that we are looking for. See, if I take the camera, GZZ, I wanted to grab the camera, but it is not selected. There it is. Nope, didn't click it. Zoom in on his face. And let's go ahead and try to give this a render. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Render image, see if I did it right. I didn't do it right. What did I do wrong? This is why I don't like texturing, because I never know what to do when something goes wrong. I'll take away the alpha, see if something changed. There we go. Hitting the alpha was a bad idea. Pretty neat, huh? Now I noticed I forgot eyebrows. If you want, actually what I can do is turn this back on, take my brush, get a black one again. Let's make this small and just kind of something like that. And then what layer did I do this on? On layer 2. Take this vertex down to here. Let's see, layer via copy to take that section again in this new layer. Free transform, drag it over to this side. So now he has eyebrows. I'm going to turn this off. Save for web. Save. And put it over the last one. Yes, I'm sure I want to replace it. And then go back in Blender. Grab this here. I'm going to grab his mouth because for some reason his mouth isn't right in the picture. Just going to pull it out. And so then I'm going to go to the materials, or click on face, go to the textures, and here it'll have this one on the bottom here. I'm going to hit reload, and it will have retrieved the image again, knowing that there's some eyebrows in there. Pretty cool. Another thing I contemplated doing is not having eyes at all, but having a gradient of brown along here that slowly fades into the skin color, so it looks like his eyes are concealed under his hood. But now that I took the work to make the eyes, maybe I won't do that. His eyes look a little far apart. Or maybe they just weren't tall enough. That's probably what was it. So anyway, I'll keep messing with that, and next time we'll move into the texturing. I think I have to pick up my little sister in a few minutes, so I'll go ahead and leave you with this. And I'll let you mess with it. Just remember that if you change this around, all you have to do is save it and reload it under the textures. I kind of wish I had all of this in one layer. Would be really nice. So yeah, I'll try and mess with it a little bit next time, and I'll show you what I came up with. Going to save and see you in the next part. Shoulder. I was thinking of a clavicle. Shoulder.L, and then